Part 5 Ending of Seeking Advice. Other parts down below. Home is quiet and lonely now, but I will start dating and move on with my life. I am excited to meet someone who wants to talk about how they feel occasionally. It's something I so dearly want in my life. A real connection. In the meantime, though, I am really happy with who I am and I am enjoying life again. Everything feels new and exciting. It's great. So, finish renovating the house, sell it, separate finances and belongings, and file for divorce in 5 months when law allows. As an option, I joined a dating site last night. Now there's a way to secure a nice constant stream of rejection. Oh well, thick skin required if you are going to play in that arena. Seems like some nice girls though. If someone wants a date, sure, I'll go. But I'm just going to keep out and about and meet girls the old-fashioned way. Anyway, I've now got 3 dates lined up. It seems I've changed to slim, blonde, tall blue-eyed girls. A nice change. Seriously, these young blokes these days are making a hash of the whole chivalry thing. Actually, makes it easier for us older guys. Even 25-year-old are interested. Anyway, looking forward to meeting some new girls. But I also accept it's a numbers game and I'm not going to have that click with the vast majority of them. But hit enough golf balls and eventually you'll get that hole-in-one. The difference now is that I couldn't give a crap what she thinks. I did it for me. I just went with the flow, did what feel right and went there. I didn't ever want to force myself to stop seeing her or whatever because I didn't ever want to feel like I've missed out on something or made a mistake. Since that night, Saturday, I have lost all desire to even hang out with her now and I'm completely comfortable with D. I have finally learned not to fight life, just let it happen and go your own direction. It is such a satisfying way to live I'm finding. And having let all of the above happen naturally, I now feel really comfortable about meeting new women. And I tell you what, she didn't think I lacked self-esteem this morning when she found out I was going on a breakfast date tomorrow morning. She stayed over to renovate all day today while I'm at work and yes, she slept in her own room. The look on her face was priceless. A quick search for 34 to 35-year-old in my area shows 324 males and 249 women. I think that reflects the reality of the responses I get. Women seem to have plenty of choice, but it isn't completely unbalanced. Yeah, I thought about the separated status and bonding. To be honest, I just don't have any interest in one-night stands. I only find the bonding good in a longer-term relationship. Whatever, I'm just going to go with the flow and see what happens. I think just knowing that I need both alpha and beta personality traits in my life have allowed me to think a lot more clearly about my needs when I meet new people, and also on a primal level, what women respond to and are attracted to. I really feel like I know how to handle women now. The beta male that nurtures the relationship is always there and doesn't need any practice. But we will see how all the theory goes. After separating from my wife, my manipulator meter is on max sensitivity too. So funny, I shut down the WW completely a couple of times on the weekend when she was trying to manipulate me, when she was over helping to finish renovations for sale of the house, and it felt great. She didn't know what hit her. In fact, despite the fact I shut her down, and she was upset by that, in her usual selfish way, I'm sure there was more respect there. Definitely something to consider when entering a new relationship. Not trying to make myself be a bastard, but when someone steps over the line, you need to put them back in their place. As predicted, I was told I would have good and bad days after the final and formal separation. And finding my wife is seeing the guy who cheated on me again, today is a bad day. After living with someone every day for 12 years, the sense of loneliness is starting to get to me. To make it worse, the WW came by and took the dog with her yesterday. I did ask her to, but it has had an effect I didn't expect. I have been keeping busy, going out, visiting friends and going to the gym, but even that is not enough at the moment. I have had 2 dates cancel on me in the last week, which doesn't help. Not sure I can handle tomorrow's date canceling as well. She hasn't responded to my messages, so it looks that way. I am doing stuff, seeing mates, family, going out with mates, gym, squash, but I am also lonely. The focus on finishing the house means I don't get to do much on the weekends other than be around my crappy wife. I'm sure that doesn't help. Honestly, my ego isn't all that tied up in dating, but it is disheartening when they cancel. I guess it just adds to the hurt that is obviously still there. I've figured out who I am, reflected on what happened in my marriage, dealt with the grief of the situation, clearly understood what my role was in the relationship breakdown, found myself, know what I want in life, understood my need for a better alpha-beta balance, know what I want in a woman, know how to ensure my needs are met in a relationship, know where to draw the line in a relationship, know what women respond to physically, and understand what isn't healthy in a woman's personality or a relationship. I'm happier than I have ever been, and quite happy to be alone when I'm busy. It's just those quiet times when it's easy to reflect on the past. It's just been a long time, 7 months, without any intimate interaction with a woman, and everybody needs it at some point. I really feel like I'd start to become a bit outcast if I wait too long. Surely that is a factor. The difference between a month ago and now. I actually hate her now. She has already tried to be friends over the last week and I have shut it down and walked away. Even now she wants to finish the renovations this weekend together. I told her no thanks, you do that room and I'll do another or work outside. For most of this post, I expressed that I didn't have a major issue with the fact she has slept with another man. At the time, that was true, but now, it completely disgusts me. That is the most powerful thing that makes me hate her now and prevents me from even entertaining her approaches in the future. The fact she is now back with the same guy again, well, that is just insulting. To do that and try to be friends. What a total B. I don't want this to get nasty, so I'm just trying to keep it amicable. But boy, is she making it hard. As I said, F her. My date wraps. First, I went to the shops and went to a quite expensive fashion outlet. There was a gay guy there who I explained my situation to, and he just about wet himself with excitement. Let's get you pretty big boy. Anyway, the guy knew what he was doing and I was looking pretty damn good, if I do say so myself, with a new top-to-toe outfit. I went to the bar and met with the date, a very attractive, tall, blonde girl. Immediately I felt no connection, but we had a few drinks together and chatted. I told her that I didn't have that connection with her and said that I could also see she didn't have one either. She said it was the first time anyone had told her that, but she felt relieved and we actually had another drink and chatted about relationships. Anyway, she left and I went to the bar, and for the first time in my life, my alpha male was out, baby. I had not a single concern about approaching women and spoke with the 3 most attractive girls at the bar. All were very nice and I made sure they knew I had good intentions, but I was just meeting people. I got the number from one of them and we will meet up sometime for dinner. So, this morning I awoke with a new feeling. Contentment. I was content with just being by myself, having breakfast by myself, having a morning walk with the dog by myself. I think that actually meeting people that I have no connection with conditions me to feel like I'm not missing out on anything being single and living alone. It is teaching me that it's not like I'm going to go out and stumble across the love of my life, and that person is going to give me emotional support. In fact, it is teaching me to be brave, strong, and independent. Think that a bit of dating is doing better for my confidence and independence than emotional harm. Anyway, I have another date tonight with an even hotter girl, but I think I'll just take it easy after that and meet new people occasionally. I'm also a very social person, so I do enjoy just meeting new people, and I'd be open to a friendship at the moment. It seems I am entering a new phase in dealing with the events of the last 6 months. The WW was at the house on set renovating, and I finally told her that I now hated her and that I didn't like her. She took a defensive and even aggressive response. Do I hear what I just said? Etc. I just said I don't care, it's not my problem now, go cry to your boyfriend, she yelled and screamed, and ran off. Then a funny thing happened. She came back and apologized for speaking to me like that. What? Seems like finally some respect. Not sure really. I'm really starting to hate her now, and I'm seriously thinking about my legal options now. I'm sure this anger a natural and likely healthy stage to go through, but if anyone has advice about to harness those feelings in a positive way, I would like to hear it. I'm going back to counseling tomorrow because I don't like this feeling much. This week has been an exploration of anger. My PC has pushed me hard, and once again, he is a genius. For the first time in my life, I have allowed myself to deeply experience my feelings of anger for my wife. Rather than rage, I find peace. It is only through suppression of our feelings that we feel frustration, stress, and powerlessness over rage. This peace is a truly an amazing feeling. No longer will another person control my feelings. I am finally my own man. Learning to sit with emotions rather than blocking them or locking them down has been a big part of my recovery and personal growth. To sit with anger and really explore the feelings, I am able to work out a plan that suits me for the future, rather than simply become frustrated, depressed, actionless, and passive-aggressive as I did in the past. It has been the single most difficult yet rewarding feeling I have ever had. So, I'm still on the seesaw of emotions this week, swinging between hatred and disinterest to even reminiscing of better times. I have begun to accept that this is a normal process and will take a long time. I'm not even sure residual feelings of this process will ever go away. I think back to the shock of when I first found out about this, and I was literally shaking beyond control and vomiting. Wow, I'm beginning to see how things like the trauma of war and death of a close person can be deeply traumatizing. 2 more dates this week, approaching them as a bit of fun on the town, meeting new people. I've realized I'm really not ready to meet the person I want to be with yet. Last night I met a really lovely gal and we had a great time. Chemistry is there, and you know when you like someone when you feel calm and comfortable near them. A nice kiss at the end of the night. I plan to see her again and start a friendship. An update, because a lot has happened emotionally over the weekend. I thought I was moving on. I thought I was going to be able to push past the hurt and focus on the future. I thought I was doing well meeting new people, but here I am on Monday morning after somewhat of a breakdown yesterday. The WW was over at the house helping to finish renovations, and for me this is always upsetting. But yesterday I had finally had enough and a trigger went off. After most of a day around her, being all happy, I lost my crap. I yelled at her, I smashed some wood I was working on. I told her she was a complete and utter trash, that she had no place in my life, that I never ever wanted to see her again, especially never at the sport club we both go to, that she had totally messed up my life and didn't deserve to be shat on from a great height. I told her to go and go home. I guess I broke down after that and walked away and sat by myself for a good 30 minutes. After that I went back to work and, well, I felt better. Like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, like I had finally said what I had never said, and whilst I still felt awful, I felt better. The WW had not left, and in fact was quite humbled by the whole rant. In fact, she left to get more paint and returned with shopping for me. When she left, she walked up to me and hugged me hard. I didn't know what to do. I felt numb and just stood there. I'm not sure the hug helped, but I guess it felt better for her to respect me a little more in that moment than had I said nothing. So, I'm not sure what all this means. Perhaps it's another baby step forward in what a very difficult journey is inevitably. I think she does feel guilty. She was crying to herself after I lost it, and I know she was crying when she left me after hugging me. I think she genuinely feels inadequate and bad about not telling me how she felt in the marriage before she pulled away from me. For her, the affair was well after that decision. She is beginning to realize that her house of cards blaming me for the breakdown is all coming down. But she will stick to that fantasy because that is all she has. Again, not that it matters. Last night was my second date with one of the nicest, kindest women I have ever met. We had our first kiss and it was damn good. I really like this girl. Told her I wanted to take it really slow and she's totally cool with that. But at the same time, I don't want to discourage her as I think she could be part of my long-term future. What I wanted to ask you all was, after infidelity, did you also find yourself questioning whether the attraction you had for someone was indeed the real thing and later find it was? Was there a period of your mind telling you be careful, you could get hurt again? And did this hinder you in your first new relationship? I'm feeling a little of that. I know it's very soon after my separation, and technically I'm still married, but I'm feeling the right things. I will report that after blowing up at the WW, I am now quite comfortable living by myself, happy in my own company, and quite prepared to live by myself in the future. In that respect, I can't tell you how much telling her exactly what I think has done for my personal growth. It's awesome. It has been hard to insulate her from my past hurt. So far, I've been pretty good and just said I wanted to take things slow, but as a woman I can imagine she would be wondering exactly how messed up I am, and as a 32-year-old, wondering about whether I will ever commit to get her down the marriage and kids road. I think I should probably just keep cool for a few more dates until I know how I feel about her, and then perhaps drop a few hints about what I want from my future. For me, that does include marriage and kids. I have no real issues with doing that relatively quickly, like in a year or two, with the right person. I feel like my WW wasted a perfectly good marriage and something in me wants to get back on track to where I thought I was, about ready to have kids. Monday update. What a weekend. Saturday, I spend the day renovating with the WW helping. It all ended pretty quickly after I asked her what she planned to do regarding the sport club I participate in. She volunteers since last year, and I've been a keen participant for more than a decade. I asked if she planned to go there this year. She said yes, and I said well I will have to find another club. She asked why and I said, because after this house is renovated, I never want to see you again. She sat there shocked. She asked, what about our dog, surely would want to see him. I said, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make to move on with my life. She said, so does 3 years in a relationship and 8 years of marriage mean nothing to you? I sat there calmly faced and said, the fact you have even suggested we would be friends after this just proves how little you have considered how I might feel after not telling me how you feel in the relationship, then cheating on me, then lying continuously, then dragging me through false R, then moving out for the second time, then getting back with the man you cheated on me with, all the while with him all the time I suspect. She said, I thought we were going to be friends. I said, again, you simply do not have the ability to consider how other people might feel. Why would I want to be involved with that? I am starting a new life and you won't be in it. At first, she was silent, then she got frustrated, then she got mad, accused me of saying horrible things to her and being hateful, then she packed her bag, stormed out the door and drove away. I later got a call from her idiot, abusing brother and ignored it. I'm left thinking, WTF, how deluded is this woman? What sort of fantasy world does she live in? All I can suggest is that she actually thought that after we both play around with some other people, we were miraculously going to get back together again. Who knows? What do you think? To be honest, I find it all pretty funny and find myself chuckling about it as I write this. In more positive news, I met a woman. The most honest, genuine, caring, traditional woman I have ever met. And the chemistry is off the charts. Puts the chemistry I had with the WW to shame. I'm keeping all your comments in mind, and my current state of emotional sensitivity in mind. But things really started to get out of hand Saturday night, Sunday. I have never felt so sure about really liking someone in all my life. No doubt, little things about a new partner's body we might not find perfect were so completely irrelevant compared to the emotional completeness of being with this woman. Again, I am trying to take things slowly, but it has been hard. And she texts me saying we shouldn't see each other right now and will do her part of the renovations in 2 weeks when she is on holidays. I think I will just finish the house off myself before then and put the house on the market. I remember telling her that right at the start of this whole process. that I actually felt sorry for her at the time, that she would never have a lasting relationship. With the benefit of hindsight, immediate intention of divorce and kicking out of house and all belongings on front lawn is what I should have done. I was lost in my own fantasy of her, and depressed, and totally reliant on her emotionally for approval that I couldn't see the light. I feel so amazingly in control of my life now, that happiest I have ever been. And it's so nice to have such a wonderful new woman in my life. I feel so amazingly driven to start a family, be a good provider now. I guess I always had this as my plan, but the motivation to be a man now is something I am relishing. I finally get it. I would agree that the WW is hurt, and no, won't ever admit it. You know what? She is already texting me nice messages. It's all starting to sink in. I got to send a really funny message today too. She said, "I'm dropping the dog over tonight." I said, "Keep him tonight too." She said, "Will you not be staying at home tonight?" I said no. Meanwhile, that of a guy she cheated on me with works offshore for 3 out of 4 weeks, and apparently spends most of his time with his mates when he is home. I have dated 6 girls so far and had some fun. This girl is something else though. Never in my life have I ever been so sure about something after meeting someone. And I certainly didn't expect to meet someone I really clicked with so quickly. It really puts the attraction I had with my wife to shame, even at the start. But yes, I am trying to take it slow, and she is too. Think we both see potential and know that taking it slow will benefit us if there is a long-term relationship. But sometimes the chemistry takes over and all that theory and caution goes right out the window. After my first failed night of attempts, after date 4, it was kind of obvious I was having issues. So, I felt better to be honest about how I was feeling. I understand the ramification and risks of doing so, and if it doesn't work out as a result, then so be it. For me, part of the process of reducing the anxiety is to talk it out. This hasn't affected my relationships in the past, and I felt most appropriate in this situation. The fact the issue is normally very temporary, like a week or 2, helps. In fact, my current WW still says that our sex was always fantastic, great right to the end, and nothing to do with why she left me. I guess she wouldn't have thrown me a few freebies at the end there if it wasn't, although I can't believe I jumped at the opportunity now. This time, I have definitely been the leader in the bedroom in all other ways. I am just taking my time to work through this thing for myself. When I am ready, she is going to go places and feel things she has never felt before. I'm sure of that. I hear you about the attraction formula, and I totally agree. It's something I have always been acutely aware of in my life, and if anything, actually I tend to overanalyze as the beginnings of new relationships. I would suggest this is why I have never slept with most women I have been with more than once. For me, it has always been a search for a long-term relationship there rather than a one-night conquest. Not sure why, but I really just don't find the hunt and conquer rewarding at all. I wouldn't call it beta. Hell, I don't know what you would call it. I have thought about this long and hard, and from a practical point of view, and also in relation to my previous women and relationships. I have a very good memory, and I think back to the beginning of the relationship with the WW that I thought was the pinnacle of attraction and compatibility. Our friends always used to comment that we were too into each other, too intertwined. I remember all the details, how I felt when we kissed, how I felt at the time, how I rated her in bed, kissing, as a person, her body, etc. I am convinced what I am now experiencing now is something quite different. Very much the type of girl I would consider marriage material. Well, I continue to experience anxiety issues when it comes to the act of sex, and it is frustrating the crap out of me. The hypnotherapy did help to relax me a bit, but this problem is now so deeply wired in my brain it's really affecting me. I am getting closer to getting over it with this gal, but it's the most frustrating thing in my life right now, and that's saying something with what I am going through. I think I'm just going to have to continue with self-hypnotherapy with the supplied DVDs and focus on letting this issue go subconsciously. Monday update. Mission Control. We have liftoff. I had quite an amazing self-hypnosis on Saturday, turning negative into positive session, and it really helped. The relief of stress was so much that I found myself crying like a little girl. Boy oh boy, I must have been putting crap load of pressure on myself. Anyway, now that I have conquered, I find myself observing an almost immediate switch in my mindset. Almost a caveman reaction, to go find and impregnate other cave women. And if I'm honest, I find myself doubting just how attracted I am to this woman. I would love to talk through this because the reality is that I'm 35, balding, low fertility, and completely sick of beautiful women who think their crap doesn't stink. And I just love her, everything else about her. I have finally realized that my WW was exactly who she was on the surface. There was no hidden beautiful personality hidden under the surface. It was simply my fantasy of who I thought she was. It has been a hard lesson to learn. Which is why I now know that when someone is so genuine, caring, open, and giving on the surface, they are truly a beautiful person inside. I really don't care what the STBX thinks now. I'm past all that. Yesterday, I unFacebook her. A real step forward for me. A very difficult weekend. House up for sale, family and GF away, friends unavailable. The worst thing was browsing FB and seeing a huge party that my WW organized and invited all of my friends. Video posted on FB showing my WW dancing around all happy and hugging her new BF. I mean, what sort of friend of mine posts that? Seeing this was like a punch to the throat and really hurt. I cried a lot this weekend. My work has also become very stressful. The owner of the company is being very difficult, irrational, and has basically threatened me with my job. I have decided that it is time to make a real step forward in my life and do only positive things. This will be my last post relating to infidelity and my WW. Things I have done today to begin the process. 1. Went to the gym. 2. Closed my FB account. 3. Booked another week of annual leave in the first week of August. No plans yet, but I will be doing something by myself. 4. Close this chapter of my life. 5. Deleted friends' phone numbers who have never really been a good friend and are basically selfish. Deleted FB posting friend. Positive things to do in the next fortnight. Find a new job. Find a new home. Move to a new house. Complete my full motorcycle license. Buy a new motorcycle. Volunteer in the local soup kitchen. Got to a track day and race a Formula Ford birthday present. Go on a surfing road trip by myself or with a mate, no women. Join the local surf club and start a new circle of friends. Change yacht clubs and find a new circle of friends there. Commit to at least 3 gym or exercise sessions per week. Spend time with family. Stop thinking so much. Learn to meditate. Spend some time with GF and just enjoy her company rather than overthinking about the future. The time for reflecting on the past and worrying about my situation is now done. I am finished with it. I am healthy enough to move forward now. I have the tools now. I'm still going out with the same girl, now 3 months. This is really great. We get on really well and we can talk about everything, which is so fantastic I can't tell you. But, and here is the $1 million question for you all. I'm not feeling it lately. I love her, but I'm not in love. I don't find her as physically attractive as I did my wife, and other slim women I suppose. But I am warming to her physical attributes and, to be honest, starting to appreciate those curves. Obviously, I have a lot going on. The WW moved out on the weekend. I stayed at home last night in what was basically an empty house, and I'm really not in a great place today. What would I like to ask is whether any of you felt your feelings were hindered in a relationship after breakup or divorce. Did it prevent you from feeling it, or was it simply that once you find the right gal, all your pain and suffering goes out the window and you are completely in love again? I really like this girl, and to be honest, I wish I was feeling it. I really think we could have a long future together, and I even see her as a fantastic mother and wife. But I'm struggling. I really think about this a lot. I really don't want to be another 3 months down the road and decide I don't love her. It would really hurt me and obviously hurt her. Her last long-term relationship broke up similarly after 6 months, so I guess I'm aware of it. Being in your mid-30s, I think, really changes things because there is a ticking clock as far as female fertility is concerned. I had that discussion with her on Sunday. She knows where she stands and I know where I stand. We have decided to continue for now. The main reason I query my situation is that there is intense physical chemistry. Even the smell of her drives me wild. I no longer see her freckles. I no longer see her cellulite or her tummy. I see all positive things. And I mean, we jump each other like 3 to 4 times a day, and it's only getting more frequent, to be honest. The chemistry is definitely stronger than I had with my wife. But I don't see her as having transformed in her face much yet, and this is where I'm confused. To be feeling these things and not falling in love with her is new to me and quite unusual physiologically. And this is why I am asking what others have experienced after D. I have a feeling there are other emotions from my D preventing me from falling completely at the moment. Self-preservation. I accept that this is most likely the situation. So, what to do? One day at a time is definitely one way to assess progress, and is always sound advice. Breaking up is another way. However, I see it as more of a trigger or test than a necessity. Do I think I'll regret it? Not sure, possibly. If I do regret it, is it because I need a woman to approve of me? No, I don't think so. Simply recognizing my previous need for approval keeps me very aware of that, and I no longer have that yearning. Can I live by myself? Sure. Would I enjoy it? Not really. I'm quite a social bloke. I would probably get a flat mate. Is that keeping me from breaking up? Not specifically, but I do enjoy her company. So, with only my needs in mind, the question is this relationship hindering my progress? I say no. Why? 1. I am far more alpha in my interaction with this woman than I have ever been. I have stopped asking what she wants to do. I just make plans. 2. I no longer clean, wash and cook to impress her. I do it when I think it's my turn, or when it really needs doing. 3. I take the lead. I tell her what and when how. I tend to take a more dominating approach now. 4. For the first time in my life, I feel like I want to be the leader of a family. The provider, the husband, the man of the house. This is the first time I have really had those feelings. 5. I have had enough of my work and I'm seeking a new career. 6. I do not pander to my GF emotions or complaints. I am now very aware of the need to be calm, steadfast and strong. Is this relationship something I need? No, I don't need it. I can live without it and I will be fine. Will I be sad about losing her love and company? Sure. Is that unhealthy? No. So, you can see I have made a lot of progress, and all whilst being with this woman. Wow, what a weekend. Furniture and assets divided up. I moved to my new house in the weekend, bachelor pad. Both sold houses have settled as of 30 minutes ago. Finances will be split tomorrow when the money hits the shared account. Divorce papers to be signed tomorrow with witness. Cleaning the house and also today signing papers. Quite upsetting really. I just said nothing and did what I had to do. We walked out of the family court this morning and I said bye, turned and walked away without hesitation. She doesn't deserve closure or minimization of the situation. Update: a lot has happened in the last 2 months. But essentially, I received a text from my cheating ex-wife in July saying she is getting married in September with the man she cheated on me with. The following weekend I was at a yacht club event and she and her fiancé turned up and started socializing. She was talking and laughing very loud. I have also started to doubt my relationship with my GF again. I often wake up thinking I have to get out of this. I feel very down and depressed a lot of the time. I feel very stressed. I struggle to do anything at work anymore. I hardly care. I have had enough of everything. I'm sick of feeling this way. I am starting to think that I have a level of depression that needs professional attention. We are coming out of winter now and at least I should be able to do some more exercise, but I am starting to think I might need to consider antidepressant medication. With my GF, I trust my GF more than I have ever trusted anyone. We have a true connection and we always sense in each other how we are feeling. Like we don't even need to talk. I know when to just hold her without saying anything and she knows when to put her arm around me. I really didn't have that with my wife. I guess I just thought that was normal in marriage. Sad really. It's taken me 22 months to get to a point where I generally feel happy every day. Quick update here. A year later. Well, we got married 2 weeks ago and we have been back into normal work life after a week on honeymoon on a tropical island. Things are really great and I'm falling more in love with my wife every day. Everything is great and it's such a selfless marriage. I'm very happy and I know this one is going to last because we can work through problems rationally and with each other's interests in mind. We are going to try for kids straight away and we are both very excited. I still trigger a bit from my last pregnancy miscarriage divorce experience, but it's time to get living. I'm so glad we ended up together. I was so worried about hurting her, especially with the flack I copped here. I get it now. So, thank you all again for your advice. What I wanted to elaborate a bit on knowing when you are ready for another relationship, a bit for those who have been cheated on, indeed, or those who have started dating again. Knowing when is tough. I would liken it to you don't know what you don't know. I would also say it isn't an instant change. Well, it wasn't for me. After 3 years, I would honestly say that my heart is still opening up. There will be many times where you will think you are ready. You may think you are ready but get frustrated as to why you aren't feeling more for the person you are with. Personally, I projected onto my girlfriend for a long time. I projected ugliness. It was in fact my inability to love looking to pass blame. It made me very anxious and I lost a lot of sleep about it. With the benefit of hindsight, I would have taken advice and not started a relationship with anyone for at least 2 years. Spent my time traveling and furthering my career and a lot of surfing. So, for those who are in my position 3 years ago, don't worry. It will all work out. You will meet someone, but don't start until you have had a lot of time to find yourself. Oh, and how do I feel about my ex-W now? While I still think she is a stupid bee and I still hate her for what she did, I don't think I will ever forget what she did to me. The lying after we were supposed to be in our hurt the most. The cheating I could have forgiven, and in the right circumstances I think it is something that a partner truly committed to repairing a relationship should be afforded. Generally, though, I just see here as the past now. She doesn't live in my present anymore and you know what, I'm fine with that. It keeps me on my toes. 2 years later. 1. On the very odd occasion I do reflect on the past. I still wonder what the hell my ex-wife was thinking when she chose to cheat on me and in many ways take steps to leave me. I still think we had a pretty good marriage. Certainly not worth one leaving at the time. 2. I now know she wasn't satisfied due to her desperate need for a father figure, which was a role I grew out of as the relationship went on. I expect that was the main reason for her ending the marriage. No matter, the total inability for her to rationally discuss issues in our lives would have ended it eventually. 3. I was unknowingly becoming passive-aggressive as a result of the lack of ability to communicate leading up to the cheating. That couldn't have helped. I consider that something that I should have recognized and done something about. 4. I suppose my experiences will always leave me with a little slice of uncertainty in my life in respect to women and marriage. All I can conclude is that some women just put less value on marriage as a commitment. I watched a sitcom the other day and it now makes me puke. I didn't think much of it back in the day when we both watched it, but that show, and may similarly shows, is toxic to women. They absorb that crap and it warps their perception on marriage. Second, third-wave feminism has a lot to answer for. Many women are miserable as a result. Thank God I am married to a very conservative wife who loves her role as a mother, wife and lady of the house. 5. My experiences have led me to better understand men and women's needs in life and the things that women value in a relationship. I am now better positioned to deliver on those needs. 6. I suppose I'm still inherently a bit selfish in many ways. Sometimes I agree to do things with the guys that burn up most of the weekend when I know my wife craves quality time. But I know it and I'm aware of it and strive to be a better person every day. I see positive male role models now and strive for that. 7. All concern around my new wife's looks have become irrelevant. I'm attracted to my wife and we still have great bonding. Her personality and integrity are now much more important to me than anything else. We have been married 18 months and it's been great. It is so amazing being with someone who can actually talk through issues of concern. Such communication skills will be invaluable in our future. 8. I have a son. X is 11 weeks old and doing great. Thank God it's my first kid, as I can see just how hard it would be to deal with kids after a D. Mind, if I had a friend who was in the same position as me, a wife who cheated and wasn't willing to do everything in her power to I would have no hesitation to recommend D. I also no longer like to call it reconciliation. People need to realize that on many levels a cheater has already left the relationship when they cheat. To get back together is to form a new relationship. I've learned to respect those who choose to get back together, as there is a whole spectrum of relationships out there and everyone deserves to do as they wish. For me, a clean slate, although with a corner chipped off, was the only way forward. My comment: you navigated a terrible situation and came out the other end renewed and better. It seems that life was waiting with rewards for you, and your lovely wife and new son are those rewards. Treasure them.